Get ready for the Squawking Eagles Podcast, the show that covers only the Philadelphia Eagles. Think different. Think Squawking Eagles Podcast.
Hello, and welcome back to the Squawking Eagles Podcast. This is the preview show between the Washington Commanders and Eagles. We will review the Jets game, but the Dolphins game.
So it's not touch Jets game again.
They look.
We might say something about that. We are going to talk about a few things on Instagram. We're going to talk about some injuries and a master class that Howie has put on this week. I am joined today by Miguel and Mark. How's it going, guys?
What
I'm alive.
In the words of Jim Carrey,
welcome back. This is number episode in the total, I guess, the history of our podcast, episode number 92.
92.
Countdown to 100. It's coming this
on
year.
Our way.
Let's do it.
So let's before we get started, I want to let everybody know, if you want to follow us on Instagram, it's Squawking Eagles Podcast. You can like and subscribe over there. Also head over to YouTube, where we have this podcast, the video version of it up there, and you can watch and see what we look like. And then we
Can't see me.
Yeah, can't see me. John Cena. And we're at Squawking Eagles Podcast over there. And then also on the TikTok and the X.
The tickety-tockety. It's been active this week.
All right, here we go.
I don't know why it took 6 weeks, but
hey, that's all right.
It happens.
It goes. All right, let's jump into it. The Eagles came off with a victory against the Miami Dolphins. Score of, what was it, 31-17. Miguel and myself, we took an L that week because we did not
hold that.
We didn't hold it. We'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take an L for an Eagles win for sure.
Thanks.
What a game! Like, wow. Mark, why don't you start us off, because you were correct with the correct
Belief in the birds.
So you start us off with your review of the game. Everyone, I'm sure, if you have not listened to our post game of that game, you can go back and listen to our takes. I was very not happy with Gainwell, and Miguel was telling me not to be on his back, but we'll talk about that. Go ahead, Mark. Hit it.
All right. So so I had us projected to win 38-9, 31-17. While it doesn't quite sound too close, we did give up a defensive touchdown. So offensively, 31-10. Pretty damn accurate, I will say, if I can say so myself. So we had a little comment on the Instagram post of our predictions by a one Jeffrey Laurie. This is a parody fan page that wanted to know if they could do a drug test on me for my wild prediction. And I just want to say, hey, you're welcome for that prediction. Let's go Birds. Overall, with the game, those Kelly Greens came out looking mean.
They were nice.
We did what we had to do. We had a little bit of a run game going on. Our aerial attack worked. Like I said, we kind of forced some plays to get moved around. And when you're moving up on that box, you're gonna leave AJ Brown open. And even if you don't, he's always open anyway. He's a 24/7 motel, guys. He just he never closes. And overall, the team looked good. I mean, there were some hiccups, something wrong. The pick six, obviously you never want to see that. But, we rallied. We were able to keep them down. We held back the number one offense in the league. We shut down their run game entirely. They had no chance to run it. And when you can't run the ball, you have to throw it when you're losing. It's a lot easier to shut down teams. If we start, get back on that train, have that nice, strong, heavy, front seven, not even a front seven, more like a front six, because you want to be able to keep your guys back. If you can stop the run with 4 or 5 guys, and the rest can be in coverage, then you're gonna constantly lock down teams. I think that's what we did just fine this week. We got after the quarterback, Hassan Reddick looking good again. Josh Sweat on it. So just like everyone else, I have a bit of a head cold. I'm gonna sound a little different. not thinking straight. I do apologize, but overall, we had a good time. The Birds came out and did what they had to do. I think it was a little bit of a statement win after our flummox that was the week before. I think we were just a little all over the place on the Jets game. We were missing some players, particularly in that middle of that line. I know there's some injuries there. But Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis showed up real big against the Dolphins. They made it a problem for everyone around them, and I'm okay with that. So we're going to capitalize on that. Hopefully, we don't walk into this upcoming week as too high on our horse. Keep ourselves focused, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, that is like Jordan Davis was taking up 3 gaps in that line, and they could not run anywhere. And after eventually they decided, to run away from Hassan Reddick. Like they're running towards Hassan Reddick, and he kept stopping everybody. Like he was stopping Morset. What his name was saying? How do you say his name?
Mostert.
He was stopping him left and right, and then all of a sudden they decided to just run the other way, and they got quite a few yards because of that. But I'm glad to have Jalen Carter back. Glad to have Slay back in that game. It's just the pick six was a deflection, and it kind of went right into the guy's hands. That's what Jalen Hurts has been doing. There's a lot of deflections into interceptions. They aren't really like Dak Prescott interceptions where they throw right to the the defense. So, Miguel, what do you got to say, bud?
Well, first of all, I want to start off by tipping my hat to the defensive coordinator, Sean Desai, for the way he decided to play that game.
Yeah.
There's a couple plays where the game could have went a totally different way. The one drop in the third quarter when Tyreek Hill was cutting across the middle there, and kind of just slipped out of his hands as he was running. That was a big play that we got lucky on, and also the one that was I think there was one that was called back on a penalty. So, but other than that, man, I feel like our defense played an outstanding game. Our run game was shut down early. We tried to get it started early in the first quarter and kind of got away with it. And that's something that we kind of knew that was going to happen. They were going to try to make us one-dimensional. We didn't think that, the Dolphins' defensive line was going to be able to keep up with our offensive line. But they did a good job of keeping that running game contained, keeping Jalen in the pocket. Lane Johnson, thank God, didn't re-injure his ankle at all. He came out. But overall, great game for the team. I mean, Jalen come out of that game with a little injury that's been questioned all week. But people think that it's happened. Well, Jalen said in the post game that it was not due to this game, but he came into the game with this injury. So kind of interesting there on what will happen. But as far as the game goes, like I said, give them credit for how they played one of the most dangerous offenses in the league, for sure.
Yeah, they were the number 1 offense in the league, and they really shut them down on the ground and in the air. Tyreek Hill was, I think, kept to like 8 yards after the catch, which is pretty good. Especially a guy who can just take off. Eli Ricks played well on him. He shut him down. They kind of played a complete game on both sides of the ball. I'm happy with that. Not a perfect day, not a perfect game.
My big take of the game, I should say. Takeaway of the game is that Tua doesn't run anymore. Tua stands in that pocket and he's not running, and that makes them one-dimensional. And I think that's what hurt them overall, at least at the end of that game. He wasn't able to go out there, or he's scared to go out there and make a play on his own and force a little bit more time. But I'm curious to see how the rest of the year is going to go for the Dolphins, knowing that I saw that like he's not capable of running the ball like he did in years past.
Right. I think he's being told not to, though. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like he's being coached not to, so he doesn't get hurt. That I think one more concussion, I think they call it a career on him.
I would say so. He's had quite a few terrible concussions, so that would be the next thing for him.
And I can tell you they're terrible.
Yes,
plenty
right.
myself.
Take it
you
from
can.
experience over here.
Yeah, true.
You know, the Dolphins, I think once they were thrown off their game, they couldn't pivot. They couldn't figure out another way to try to gain yards. And like you said, with Tua not running, that Eagles were just able to just kind of like load up the box and do their cover, their soft cover and just allow them to catch the ball. They had some huge down play, like Tariq had a nice touchdown pass, and I think Wilson had one. It was like 3rd and 20, and they were able to convert that. That was
Did
tough.
you guys hear how Jalen Carter said he was going to start the game with the bull rush, and he did exactly that and was right into his lap in that first snap?
Yeah.
That was great.
Did you also catch his LeBron flop?
Yeah. He said, "What will LeBron do?"
Yeah, that's what he did. It was funny. It was funny.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Now that game was fun to watch because the Eagles played like they should have played against the Jets. Like
exactly.
If they had played that way against the Jets, they would have beat the Jets as well. So let's.
Unfortunately, it's not unscathed because a lot of people are saying that the refs were fixed for that game because of the one guy they didn't call the face mask penalty, that they didn't call any penalties on the Eagles at all. Like
zero whole game.
A lot of that shit I heard.
I say they were wrong.
There were penalties for the Eagles. They were just not accepted.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, there was definitely 1 or 2 missed calls throughout the year. I'm not going to deny that, but there are every game. We just happen to be unnaturally lucky, I would say, with the ones we got away with when we did. But at the same time, like, I mean, in my opinion, like, look, did we not have some of those go against us the wrong way in years past, or have them get away with it in years past?
100%,
so
100%.
Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. Look, the Dolphins are the Dolphins. They're a very good team. They're going to continue to win games. And I don't think they would have won even with the penalties if there were the few missed calls were called. But that's just how it goes each game.
There's a lot of talk that there's a fraud alert on the Miami Dolphins. The teams that they had beaten were like 5 and 23 or something like that.
Let me just put it out there. It's not just the Dolphins. It is that entire division. Because even the Bills, look, I'm sorry. The Bills, I've even seen Bills fans say it after their losses. It's that whole division. Aaron Rodgers got hurt, that whole division fell apart.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near as good as people think that is. They are so hype on that being like the toughest division this year, and it's not. I've heard people say the AFC North to be a really tough division, and the Bengals aren't the Bengals. The Browns aren't as good as they could have been. The Ravens are the only good team, and they have some really bad losses too. I think there's a lot of teams that just aren't showing up the way you wanted them to. Overall in the NFL, it's just been a down year for teams. I mean, even us, like, we lost to the Jets. We weren't playing well the first couple of games. I don't know if I'd say fraud on everyone, but I mean, it's not. I think everyone got too ecstatic over the way the games have been going the past couple of years,
right?
That they were expecting it to continue. But like I said last year, we got so lucky staying healthy, and that was a true thing. Like, no matter what, we played well, but we were lucky. We stayed healthier than any team in the NFL. That does not happen in Philadelphia. How many years have we watched this team fall apart to injuries by like week 4?
Yeah.
So
the year Randall went to Green Bay and broke his leg, and that was it. They were done. That was the year they were supposed to win it all. He goes to
87.
I want to say
that was 90.
I want to say it was like between 90 and 92. I know we were talking about 92, but for some reason 92 comes in my head. But that year that was their Super Bowl year. That was the big run, and he breaks his leg in Green Bay, and then that's it. So let's do our one word for this game, and then move on. We got a few things to talk about about Jalen and about Howie and Washington game. I'll go first. You guys think about it. My one word for this week was complete. They completed their downs. They completed, their plays, and they didn't really punt. I don't think they punted at all during that game. Yeah, right. I don't. Maybe once actually. Maybe they punted.
Yeah, I think it was one or two times.
Yeah. But it was a complete game. It was on both sides. Yeah, Jalen had an interception, but it was a deflection, and I'll give that as a bye. That's a pass for me. I like the way they played, and I'm glad they won. They beat the Dolphins. I really wanted them to beat the Dolphins. So, Miguel, you want to go?
I'm going to go with the word redemption. They redeemed themselves from that loss against the Jets, but I'm still not satisfied because we still saw the struggle in the red zone.
Yeah,
we still saw the issues with moving the ball as we get closer to the red zone, like, and the inconsistency of the running game. Like, what's going on there? What's going on with the blocking scheme? Because clearly it's not the players. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not always the players or not always the coaching, but there's still things that need to be improved on. So this redeemed from that sorry loss that we had against the Jets, and hopefully going forward we see more improvement. I mean, Howie went out there, and I guess he was not impressed with the play of Terrell Edmonds, because right after that game he got on the phone and got us a new safety.
Yep.
Especially over that pass over the top where Bradbury was just beaten. The safety should have been a little bit higher. Edmonds should have been a little bit 10 yards back more, maybe saves that touchdown. But yeah, redemption. They redeemed the bad play from the week before, and hopefully this is the start of going forward and being a more consistent football team.
Funny enough, Terrell Edmonds led our team in tackles in that game too, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
Because we're always chasing people.
That's true. Well, Reed's back. We got Byard. Byard. We should see how this goes. It'll be nice.
Byard. Yeah.
All right. Talk about one word for the game.
One word for that game. Silence.
You know, I'm gonna say belief.
Belief?
I had belief in the team. I knew after we had come from a terrible, terrible loss to the Jets, I think the team itself found its own belief and was able to prove out there on the field, like, hey, look, we're not perfect, but we're here to fight and we're going to win. We believe it. You should believe it too. You know, Philadelphia's got to get behind them now, because we had belief in the Phillies and they didn't believe in themselves.
I knew you were going to go there.
But the Eagles did.
Too soon.
The Eagles had belief. That's why the
Emotional
Eagles
damage
got the
over
job
here.
done. Yeah, well, you know what? That's baseball for you.
This
you
is
don't
Philadelphia
try.
sports for you, bro. Like, the whole year, like, the Phillies were losing the World Series, the fucking Sixers choking in the playoffs, the Eagles losing the Super Bowl, to the Phillies fucking choking in Game 7.
Yeah, there's a whole thing. What's the biggest choke? The Eagles losing the Super Bowl, or this Game 7 for the Phillies? Like, which hurts
we
more?
weren't choking.
Game 7.
It's bad,
The
right?
Super Bowl hurt more, but not because of a choke. I think Super Bowl hurt more because I feel like we were robbed. Where the Phillies, I feel like the Phillies hurts because it's like, I feel like you didn't try. Like, I feel like you showed up, you were like, oh, we're home, we got this, and didn't even begin to put
the bats got cold and Topper, if you want to call him that, didn't want to change the lineup. How do you go to the Game 7 and not give the other team something to look at that's different?
Yes, exactly. At least change it in the Game 7. Yeah, the $738 million went blank. They went like 1 for 28, and that can't happen. And I think if he had just changed the lineup just a little bit, like, don't bat Alec Boehm fourth. That's Turner fourth. Like, do something.
Exactly. You didn't even have to take him out the lineup. Just push him down somewhere where he can still prove himself. I mean, he went out there and he hit the only fucking run that. Well, we got two.
He scored. He scored. He hit the home run and he scored. He was responsible for 2 runs. And
instead of making the bottom of your lineup a little bit stronger by putting Boehm down there, I mean, he's not really the strongest hitter. And I know this is a football podcast, not a baseball podcast, but it's just like you just got to make that change and give him a different look, man. And why didn't they start the game with Wheeler?
Yeah, I don't know. Because Suarez has a .98 ERA. He's been good.
Have Suarez pitch the end, the back half.
Yeah. It wasn't managed well. The last 2 games were not managed well at all.
At all. He's out of here.
Kimbrel's done. I don't want to see that guy back.
Get his ass out of here. I'm glad they didn't play him in Game 7.
Yeah.
That's where we lost the game. Game 4. That's where we lost the series.
The series was lost in Game 4.
Yep.
All right. So.
Yeah, back to football. Sorry about that.
Back to football. Sorry about that. A little cathartic there with the Phillies.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Thanks for trying
Mark
to let that
tripping
go.
as usual.
Right. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Howie's masterclass in building a team, and when you have a farm system in Tennessee, you always got to go knock on the door and say, hey, we need new players to improve our team in the big leagues here.
Who you got?
So who do you got for me? So if now I know it's not the same general manager that dealt AJ Brown. I know it's not. But if the owner, it was a smart owner, he tells the new GM, if Howie Roseman from the Philadelphia Eagles calls you hit. That's a she?
Yeah, I think the owner of Tennessee is a woman.
Okay. So whatever, man or woman, the owner of the Tennessee Titans tells them, do not pick up the phone, hit ignore, block number, all those things. Do that. If you pick it up and you start listening to Howie's going to finesse you. He's going to tell you how terrible the player you're going to give him is, and it won't help the team. It won't. And that's what Howie did. She picked up the phone. He said, I'm going to give you Terrell Edmonds. I'm going to give you Terrell Edmonds.
Our condolences to Terrell Owens, who was hit by a car last week.
That's true. That's probably why he's on my mind.
That's probably why he brought him up. Yeah.
So you take Terrell Edmonds. He leads my team in tackles against the Dolphins. You take him. He's a great player. And I'll give you 2 draft picks. And then she goes, okay, sure. Go ahead. And gives us Kevin Byard, who is a ball hawk.
How old is he?
He's 30 years old.
They say he is 30, or Edmonds has only just turned 26. Edmonds has had a very good career at safety. It was a little rough this year.
Okay.
I don't know if this was not nearly as much of a fleece, I feel, as the AJ Brown one was.
If he was younger, if he was like 25, 24, I'd be like, oh yeah, he stole him. But I'm sure his contract is like 1 or 2 years left. He's 30 years old.
2 years.
Yeah.
But do you know that the draft picks that they gave them?
They're not even ours.
They're not even Eagles. Yeah. One of them is Seattle's, and the other one is Tennessee's. They trade back their own pick.
They're not doing well. Their picks are a worthy pick.
That's a kind of a finesse. The guy's good. The guy intercepts Dak Prescott on a daily basis. Like I'm expecting 2 from him in 2 weeks.
Let him shine.
You guys also understand where he's from, right?
He's from West Philly.
He's from Philly. We're just
that's
building a locals team. That's all.
That's what you got to do, Miguel. What did you say earlier in the podcast?
To play in Philadelphia, you have to inject the culture into the team too. You know what I mean? You got to have the Philly culture in there. So you got Swift on offense. You got Byard on defense now, and
Hassan
Reddick. And I'm sure there's 1 or 2 that we're not thinking of right now. But I mean, you that connects the city of Philadelphia closer to the team, knowing that people from this city have made it to that team. And
I think it's a great trade. I'm excited for this guy. Who would have thought that he was even available for a trade? Like
I didn't think so.
Nothing.
I thought we would have gotten Booter Baker before we would have got him.
Yeah.
So
I've been saying I've been keeping my ear to the ground to all this waiver wire and all these trades and all that are happening. For one, I think they are asking too much for Buddha because he's younger. He's got a little bit more left in the tank. But it sounds like Tennessee might be on a sale. I heard that it looks like the Ravens are talking about picking up King Henry.
Yeah,
they're also in talks with New York talking about taking Saquon.
I heard King Henry to Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas. I heard that too.
Either way, I hear that looks like Tennessee is up for sale right now. So
wow.
And they have a brand new stadium coming too, so they're going to be terrible for a while with this brand new stadium.
Yeah.
So Howie he needs a safety. We need a guy on defense that's reliable, who's a veteran.
And I hear he's not done. He's not done.
He's not done.
No.
Well,
He's looking for DBs.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's the thing with Howie. Like he doesn't come on like on the TV and start talking about what he's doing. Like that's what Jerry Jones is doing. He doesn't talk. He talks the talk after he's done the walk. After he's walked it, and so that puts me in him in the top echelon of GMs because of this.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm happy with the trade. I give it a B.
Howie's a Hall of Fame GM.
I think
sure.
he's doing it. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think he might be doing it. I know. I would have never said this 2 years ago, but I'm saying it now.
Mark just cringed when I said that. You okay there, Mark? Why?
Oh,
Tell me,
just
talk to me, buddy.
No, I'm just looking back at
Yeah.
at all things collective. I will say, if he were to give a TED talk on how to make trades, I'd probably listen.
Yeah.
If he were to do a TED talk on how to draft, I would hope they were locking the doors, not letting anyone in. I know he's done better recently, but I think other people there helping him now. I don't know if that's entirely him still. I want to know.
I hope this answers what's his name? The parody account guy, Jeffrey Lurie.
Jeffrey Lurie. Yes.
Yeah.
Mark's not on drugs. That concussion just fucked his head up, and that's a reason for a lot of these weird thoughts.
Hey, those thoughts are accurate, my guy.
Accurate. Oh man. All right,
Don't test me though.
let's dive into I guess let's talk about the Jalen injury. Well, not so injury. Like I'm not, I'm sure there's
where in the world did Jalen get his injury?
Right. Let's start the conspiracy thread right now. Did he hurt it? Did he hurt his knee doing a non-football related activity?
No.
Did he do it doing getting his photograph for Time magazine? Did he do that? Or did he hurt it in one of these first 7 games? Did he hurt it against the Rams where it looked like he hyperextended his knee? Did he get it hurt? I don't know where. Did he hurt it on one of the brotherly shoves? There's talk that because of Brock Purdy getting injured with a head injury during one of the tush pushes.
Monday night game?
Yeah, on Monday night he did the tush push and he apparently got a concussion from it, and that might seal it for the tush push for next year.
I'm gonna steal this idea from the Goldbergs podcast where I think Elias Short Park said if you at all use the tush push this year, you're not allowed to vote if it's can be legal or not.
Oh, that is a good caveat there. I like that.
Pretty sure it's close to almost every team at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what do you guys think? Where did he hurt? What he has not said anything about it. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Mark.
We all know that our lovely quarterback can squat 600 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe in his spare time, he tried to double that, and 1,200 was doable. But it's just put a little bit of extra strain on the knee, and he's like, you know what? Bit of a twinge. Maybe I'll just wear a brace once in a while, make sure it's strong. No, on reality, no. I think he probably. I mean, look, we all know what it's like to play on turf. Even I know wrong. You still injure your leg playing on, in your tendons, such playing on grass. I've done it myself. I've twisted my ankles 100 times. I honestly, I'm gonna go with my one word: belief. He's not on the injury report. He comes out saying, "Look, I'm fine." He looks to be okay while he's throwing and running right now. Until I'm proven otherwise, I believe it was a minor little, maybe twist, maybe something that's a little, bothersome, but nothing major. I'm gonna believe in him. He's good, and if he ever comes out and wants to tell more about it, he will. Until then, I'm behind him. Let's go. Let's brotherly shove our way to victory.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've heard. Well, Jordan Mailata came out the other day and said that the fact of playing on turf 2 weeks in a row really takes a toll on knees, and that may have contributed to Jalen's injury. But after doing some semi-research on my lunch break, I was looking at a video of when we played the Patriots.
You don't get a lunch break.
Jalen, yeah, sure I do. Now I do. Before I did.
It used to be a dinner break.
There was a hit that Jalen was on the scramble, and he kind of planted his, I think it was his left leg into the ground, and that's the leg that the defender tackled. So it's gonna be real quick when I show you this. Let me see if it shows the right way here. So that's the Rams game.
Right. That's where he hit the hyperextension.
Right, but
Oh, right there with the
where I think
fumble.
he got hurt. Right. So
And that's why because that's the brace. The brace is on his left knee.
right. So that's why I think that he had to be playing with that little injury for weeks, and he might have banged it the wrong way on the ground and during that one play, or it's just bruised. And
Right.
listen, as a guy with two bad knees, torn ACLs, MCLs, meniscus, listen, I can't play basketball anymore because if I go side to side, forget it, my knees swell up for 2 to 3 days easily. So I know how sensitive a knee injury could be, and it just takes that one little bang to make that pain come right back, and you have to tolerate that. So that's what I think it is. And listen, if he's not on the injury report, then I don't think we should be too concerned about it, because you know how the NFL is. If you lie about that injury report, they're going to start finding you, suspending you, all that bullshit.
It's happening in Atlanta right now.
Right. So that's my thought on it. And B just threw the ball away.
And Miguel, have you tried not injuring your knees?
Sure, I've tried.
Damn, all that damage.
One happened in practice as I was a guard pulling out for the running back, and they were tackling the running back, and the pile just landed on my knee.
Oh.
And the other one happened at Trenton High during Mercer County tournament for wrestling, when I thought the ref blew the whistle, and the kid shot at my leg as I had my body turned, and it just snapped right there. So yeah, not my fault.
I'm not gonna lie. Now I never met Miguel in person. I'm not gonna lie. If I'm looking at you right now, I would have definitely had you as a skill player and not a lineman. I would have never predicted you to be a guard, my guy.
No, thank you.
I definitely maybe a tight end, but like I feel like I would have seen you as a back, if anything. You just got that build.
I would have loved to have been the back.
Right.
Coach Radis. You didn't make me a back, Radis.
Oh man. I got one of my first major concussions playing running back. Actually, I was playing fullback for that play. It was a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, so like you said, he's not on the injury report. If he's not on the injury report, that means he didn't hurt his knee during football activities. But if he's wearing a brace and he's limping, it's got to be hurting. Something's the matter with it if he's got to do this thing. So
a lot of linemen wear a brace just for extra support.
Okay, so yeah, let's just say it's extra support, and hopefully it's that's all it is, because he's his comments were like maybe 3 words, like, no, it's fine, I hope not. Like, he's not really letting in too much information about it.
I don't think he shouldn't. There's a competitive advantage.
Yeah,
you don't want people aiming for that knee.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Would bet you that moving forward, you're going to see more and more quarterbacks wearing braces when they play on turf. More players in general are going to start wearing them just because of the damage people are having on these turf fields.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
I don't understand why there's not a recommended cleat to use when you're playing on turf. You know what I mean? Like, you see these players switch their cleats out every time they play on some type of new turf.
Yeah.
The problem is there's too many different variations of turf.
Yeah.
I mean, we technically have ours is a grass field, but it's a mixed grass field of different seeds, so it's considered it's still considered a turf. It's not fake turf. Yeah. But I mean, of the fake turf, there's whole different kinds of different rubber bases, different cork bases. So like, you can recommend all you want. And like, I remember when I was a kid, because my high school I grew up at has a turf field, AstroTurf field, and we were told day one, like, look, you need cleats. You need cleats for everything else, but like, there are turf shoes, and you're honestly going to play better with them because you're just going to be a little faster, a little better move, and you do. I mean, I get it. You definitely feel faster. Like, you can make different things happen on turf than you can on grass. You get hurt more on grass, but more minor injuries. Like, you're going to come up bloody from grass fields a lot more. You're going to come up, a little bit more scratched up and damaged, but you're not breaking and tearing ligaments the way you are.
Right, because dirt has more give than rubber. So
true. Well, look, during the World Series, Arizona went from grass to turf, and they use a coconut husk filling for their field. Like, there's all kinds of different kinds of variations of turf.
They're trying to find the right kind of material, and it's going to take years and years.
Yeah,
I get it.
All right, let's move on to Washington.
Hmm.
Washington, we are playing Washington 1:00 in Washington. This is our last 1:00 game, and the rest are all 4 or 8 o'clock the rest of the year.
We have one more, Arizona.
No, yeah.
Is that a 1:00 game?
Yeah, because it's West Coast.
3.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I stand corrected.
Well, technically, you're not wrong because it's the last one for the year because Arizona's in January. So.
Okay. All right. Good. There you go. Thanks for the pickup there.
You're welcome. I got you.
All right. So, we're going to play Washington. Washington, our last game was 34-31 overtime. I think the Eagles, even though the Eagles are going to have Byard back there, they are a different team from the last time they played Washington. What are your thoughts? You want to go first, Mark?
Sure. We are a different team. Hopefully, like I said before, we're not too high on our horse for beating up on Miami. Hopefully this isn't a trap game coming off, a high, low, high situation with Dallas the following week.
Mm-hmm.
It is a division game. We've seen all year how divisional games will just absolutely throw you for a loop because you see two teams that shouldn't be competitive, and suddenly they are. We just saw it this past weekend. I mean, was it the Bills and Patriots? How is that a competitive game? Makes no sense. But looking at us, I mean, I think we are a better team than we were the first time we played them. And I think they're a little bit more beat up team than they were the first time we played them. They're definitely down a little bit. They have been playing very poor football recently. But we also have it's divisional oddness. I think this game will be closer than it should be. I think you're going to see a lot of Eagles fans be concerned again because of how close this game will be. But I think we still escape with a win in a terrible environment. I don't mean it terrible as it's hostile. I mean terrible because it's one of the worst fields and stadiums in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just one of those games where it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be a pretty game. So,
division games really never are. They never are division games. Miguel, I know you're watching the Sixers game and their opener against Milwaukee, and I'm sure it's a real barn burner.
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts on Washington this week?
Division, like Mark just said, division game. It's going to be physical, as it always is. I just hope. Well, I know we're going to come out with the win. I feel positive about that. I just hope we just come out unscathed. Hope nobody comes out with an injury. We got Dallas the following week, which is also a division game. That's going to be a big game, huge game. And we go into that bye after that, but then we run the gauntlet. So these next 2 games are very critical because 1, it gives us a winning streak going into the bye. 2, it gives us a 2-game gap in the division, or at least a half a game gap against Dallas in case they somehow go on a run or whatever. But I mean, the way Buffalo's playing doesn't really scare me, and I know I'm looking ahead right now, but I feel like we need to look ahead at the same time. Is just trying to stay healthy, especially when we think about Jalen's injury and how he's going to be down the road. But yeah, I just feel positive about this game. Just get that running game going. Make sure that line is offensively and defensively controlling the line of scrimmage, and we should come out on top. If we play like we played last week against the Dolphins and play with that passion and determination, I don't see why we should lose to Washington. I have no belief in how. I have no belief in how. Look how that Washington Giants game was last week. I mean, Washington really should have won that game. The refs kind of handed that game to the Giants, but they're not that good of a team.
No, I agree. Washington is. I put out the team comparisons this week, and I give the Eagles advantage in every single space because they have really proven to me they are definitely better than the Commanders. The Commanders are 3-4. They could probably be 1-6. I don't really know.
And I got a hot take for you.
Okay, all right. Take. What's your hot take? Good.
Ron Rivera gets fired after this game.
Yeah, if they go 3, they'll go what? They'll go 3-5. That's a possibility. Yeah.
Yeah, just the way that he's been coaching lately, and just the, I don't know if you ever heard him talk, and he doesn't. He leaves everything in his offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator's hands, and then like he just delegating responsibilities. Like who's really, I don't know.
Yeah,
I just don't. I don't think he's around too much longer.
I believe he's from the Andy Reid coaching
tree
too. Yeah. So I don't see this going into overtime again. I don't think Washington's going to be able to score 31 points again. I think if they can only score 7 against the Giants, I think that we're going to see a comparable like that kind of a game again. I think with the Eagles have all of their players back healthy. We have a new safety in Byard. I'm excited to watch him play. I think this game is going to be over by the third quarter. I really do. And I'm going to throw out a score. I'll do my score first. I think this score is going to be at least 35-17. 35-17 Eagles. Lock it in and pack it in and and let's go to Dallas. I want the Cowboys.
Go ahead, Mark. All right. So I honestly think this game is going to be pretty close down to the wire. I think it's going to end. I think it's going to be 31-20, which does not sound close, but I think that includes like final couple minutes, the Eagles score a touchdown to make that lead the way it is. I think it's going to be like 24-20 there in the fourth quarter. And, either Swift or someone pulls out a nice little touchdown, maybe a pick six, from our defense, ends up making that 31. Oh, you know what? Hot take for you. You know what? I'm just going to throw it out there. Hot take for you. Our final touchdown to the Kevin Byard pick six.
Ooh, that'd be nice. I like that.
To Philadelphia. Comes in and says, hey, boys, I'm here to play.
All right.
I like it.
I like that.
Can you contribute? I like it. Good job.
Maybe Julio scores this week. I don't know. You never know.
Yeah, well, you got to catch last week.
One catch. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was only out there for like 2 plays.
As long as he caught the ball, that's all I care about, Quez Watkins.
Right. I trust Quez Watkins more now than I do Craig Kimbrell, by the way.
Why you have to bring that guy?
You know what? I might trust the way Aguilar's been playing for Baltimore. Man. I might trust Aguilar better than I trust.
Oh,
Kimbrell.
wow!
Ouch!
Wow! Jesus!
Wow!
Shots fired.
Yes.
I see us winning comfortably. Well, I guess comfortably. I see a 24-16 win.
That's pretty comfortable.
Like Mark would say, run the ball.
Run the league
all day.
Yep.
Run the ball.
Defense is gonna show up and show out. And I don't have a worry in the world next week.
Oh, Mike, I was wrong. The Cardinals game is 31st of December, so it actually is this year. So
still.
Wait, fact check yourself.
Well, I don't expect much from Colts fans. So
Colts fans, yeah. I'm still a Colts fan.
I've seen rumor about Pittman might be getting traded.
And there's also
he's really been doing a lot for him too.
There's also been talks corner that the Colts have that Howie's might go after too.
Rodney McLeod.
Yeah, right. That would be interesting to bring him back. I'm surprised that Shane Steichen knows Howie. I don't know if he's going to want to deal with Howie.
He's not answering his phone calls, man. He's in the call. He talked to the GM and said, hey, when a phone call comes with a 215 or 267 number, you do not answer.
Do not answer. Do not answer.
That's why Howie uses the jersey number 609.
Nah, he really throws them off. He's got a phone number from LA. It's like,
there you go. Yeah, that's what
he's calling. He's like, I'm just calling you about your extended warranty plan.
Right.
on that quarterback of yours, it seems like that warranty's up and he needs to leave. So we're gonna help you with this process.
Right. Oh man, I think that'll do it for us. I'm pretty sure we've.
That's it today.
That's it. Yeah, there's we talked quite a bit about that Dolphins game and some injuries and fantasy this week. We can talk a little bit of fantasy. I in Miguel's league lost to a team with 0-6 and didn't even play anybody. All my players decided they weren't going to play. So that was depressing. But I have won 4 games in a row in our league. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Good job. Way to come back.
Yes. We do have a guy on Instagram. His name is... He's been talking about doing a lot. He's part of Inside Edge Sports. He does a lot of fantasy stuff. He's been tagging us in a lot of his fantasy, like the best fantasy lineup of the week. And he wants to come on and talk fantasy football with us and points. So.
I'm sorry, did you say you won 4 games in a row?
Yeah.
So you started 0-3.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yikes.
He did.
Yep.
It's nice to know that you're down there at like 4th in our league.
Coming back. I'm coming back.
Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here all year.
Ooh, you know what? I just realized I'm playing one of the only other teams with my record this week.
Who are you playing this week?
I win it. I'm playing the Glen side from Stanford.
Oh,
so
that's
5-2 and 5-2.
Yeah, that's Jason. Jason was at the draft. He was there.
I got 900 points. He's got right now. I'm currently, if you go by breakdown, I would be in second because your brother has two more points than I do.
Yeah. It's my brother, you, and who's number 3? Who's number 3? Glenside, right?
Yeah, Glenside, yep.
And then me, right? I think that's what it is.
Yes, you would then take 4th, and then Christian would take 5th.
Yeah,
and then the other Beckerman would take 6th.
Which is Sean's son is actually playing better than Sean.
Sean is absolutely the worst in the league. My God. He's like dead last.
You know, what cursed him was trading Aaron Rodgers. Now, on his defense, Deshaun Watson, I don't think he's going to be playing for the rest of the year. It seems like he's kind of not well. So it kind of like they're both injured. So, but yeah, that was tough.
Thanks for the donation, Sean.
Yes, right. Definitely a good donation. So yeah, well, we'll give him a talk. I'll send him the link. Maybe we'll talk to him after we're done here, and we'll insert that into our subscription-based podcast.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So if you want to subscribe, you can also subscribe to us on Instagram, where you can get special subscriber content available only to people who subscribe. If you would like to follow us on YouTube, you can follow us on YouTube at Squawking Eagles Podcast, where this video will be up and posted up there. If you want to listen to our post game, we'll have our in-game takes during that game against Washington. So you can check
always
that
be sure
out.
to leave your comments because I love to read them and respond, especially when I'm on drugs.
Yeah.
Leave those comments in there. That'll be out on Tuesday. And then next week it's Cowboys week, so we will have Nat on. Hopefully he can come on and talk. It is next Thursday is his birthday. I'm not sure how he's going to be able to squeeze it in, but we'll see. Hopefully he can come on and talk a little Cowboys with us. It's always great to talk to him.
On his birthday, does he put a cowboy hat on and some chaps?
We don't know, but that's a question we'll have to wait and ask him. We'll have to ask him that.
Baby, some cowboy boots.
Well, you will have to ask him that. All right, that'll do it. Mike, Miguel, Mark, thank you, guys.
You already know how we do. EAGLES, Eagles.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Mike, play that funky music.
Fly, Eagles, fly, on the road to victory. Fly, Eagles, fly, score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly, on the road to victory. EAGLES.